I know you've done a lot of charity work and things to help
Right.
out in your community. Tell me about some of the stuff that you've done to help out over the years in your community.
Well, my community where I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida, my neighborhood kind of changed. It went from being like almost probably like 95% white in my neighborhood, and the demographics changed a lot. And we have a lot of, I guess the black people kind of moved into our neighborhood. And the old high school I went to is predominantly like 75% black now. But I got a call from the football coach about 12 years ago, and they said that they didn't have enough helmets. The kids were sharing helmets. They didn't have enough uniforms for the football team. So I called up with a lot of my high school friends that I played football with and stuff. And I'm kind of like the mayor down there, even though I live in New York. Everybody, I keep in touch with a lot of people. So I put together my old high school buddies and stuff, and we raised $35,000 for the football team that year. We helped pay for their team meals. We got them all new shoulder pads, uniforms, helmets. Did a lot of good stuff for the community, and we started a charitable 501c corporation called the Terry Parker Alumni Fund. And to
Mm,
this day, it's still going strong. To this day, we raised over $800,000 for the high school athletic program.
it's amazing, not
So,
every
president of that for all these years. So, I'm very proud of all the charitable work we've done in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, I mean, when you have people that are not able to have, get their own equipment or get certain parts of equipment replaced,
It's
it's
hard.
it's tough.
See, the demographics have changed down there. And back when I played football and stuff, we had our parents and we had a booster club and we had people that, we would do fundraisers. We would sell Krispy Kreme donuts on the, weekends, or we would wash cars, and we would raise money for our own uniforms. And at the end of the year, we got to keep our jerseys and stuff. And the next year they would buy their own new jerseys. And plus the Duval County School Board, they used to allocate, X amount of funds for the athletic programs and stuff. Now down there, they have budget cuts and everything else. And they don't really do a lot of stuff. And one of the most proud things I am with the Terry Parker Alumni Fund, I found out that the wrestling team, they were still using the same wrestling mat that I used when I went to Terry Parker High School back in the early 1980s, 81, 82, and 83. So one of the first things I did when we had a little bit extra money in our coffers is we bought him a brand new wrestling mat for the high school. And
Mm.
that was one of my more proud achievements, with the alumni fund. I mean, I helped out everything with football, basketball, new uniforms, cheerleaders, Letterman jackets, team meals for all their, team meals when they would go out for 70, the coaches and the players. They would have like 50, 60 players on the team, and they would have like 10 coaches. So we would make sure that everybody would eat, and um, be taken care of. So
Yeah.
we're still doing that stuff. And some other charities that I've been involved with. There was a group up here in New York. Freddie Blassie got me involved in it, called the Community Mayors in New York. And I was a mayor of Williamsburg when I lived in Brooklyn. There was a man named Dominic Del Rocca. He was in charge of the charity. And we used to do every year, we would do a wrestling match at Madison Square Garden. Vince McMahon and Linda McMahon were community mayors. And they would put on a charity show for the kids and stuff. And they would bus kids from all over the five boroughs to come see a wrestling show at Madison Square Garden, a matinee show. And we would all wrestle there and put on shows, sign autographs, all that good stuff. And we did a lot of stuff like at Astroland and Nellie Bly's. It's an amusement park in Brooklyn. We would take handicapped children there and put them on the rides, and just do a lot of good stuff for the communities up here. Another thing I was involved with, I was vice president of Long Island Children's Fund, where we would get like handicapped accessible vans. We would raise money for that stuff, or put in handicap ramps at people's houses or handicap bathrooms. So we would get a lot of local businessmen together and do stuff like that. So I've been very fortunate, and I try to give back to the community. I try to pay it forward, and just try to do good things. I want to treat everybody the way I want to be treated. And God put me on this earth to, I guess, wrestle and try to help other people. So that's what I try to do, and just live the best life.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, especially when people are just, you never know what somebody's going through, or people are just not able to afford certain things. And to you, Rick, what is it about giving back that gives you the most joy?
Just to see people smile or, help alleviate some of the problems just for a little bit. You never know what somebody, like you said, is going through. They maybe had a death in the family, they maybe lost their job, maybe they're living paycheck to paycheck, maybe they don't have any food on their table. So, I give we have a place up here called the Harry Chafin Food Pantry, and I try to give back every like Thanksgiving. I buy a bunch of turkeys and give out to the food pantry so they could give out to the community. Um, Christmas time, a bank that I used to deal with, Capital One Bank, they used to uh, have stockings, and you used to take we would get a stocking, and there was a wish list for a kid that wanted a toy or something. So I can't tell you how many bicycles I bought for kids over the years, and some kids want jackets. It's just little things, that to stay warm, a jacket, a pair of gloves, a winter hat, a Barbie doll for a little girl, a GI Joe or something, a video game. Um, at the last hour, I went in there one year and there was still like maybe 10, wishes that weren't granted. So I took them all, me and my wife, and we went to Target and we started buying stuff. And, you know, I use my own money. I don't, ask people for donations or anything like that. And if I've been blessed, I have my own security guard company I've had for 25 years. When I got out of wrestling, I had to do something with my life because I was probably 30, I want to say I was like 34, 35 years old. And, the lifetime, of a wrestler, you have a very short career. Some guys get hurt, some guys, wheelchair bound, some guys, neck injuries or paralyzed. So, I mean, I've already had a knee replacement. I've had a rotator cuff surgery. I tore my pec. I tore my bicep. I tore my Achilles tendon. Um, I had my gallbladder removed. So um, I've probably had about 15 surgeries throughout the years. 5 years ago, I had a quadruple bypass surgery. I had a heart attack, and I'm blessed every day to be here now. God gave me a second chance, so I want to make the most of my life and be here for my family and friends and my grandchildren.